Welcome to the cast. This is our first episode. So I have Emily Taylor with me and the leader of Bedford First
Amen.
Assembly of God,
Amen.
Pastor Chris Stebbs, and I am Gary West. So, Emily, do you have any opening remarks?
I'm just excited to be here.
Just excited to be here?
Yeah, very excited. Very excited to see that this has come to fruition.
Yeah.
Because I think all of us kind of had the same idea, and now we're all on the same road together.
Yep.
That's cool.
Excited to see where it goes.
Absolutely.
Pastor, any opening remarks?
Yeah, I would just echo that. It's been an interesting journey to see something that I think the Lord whispered in my heart, I would say over a year ago, and to see it, how he kind of has brought it about and the way he brought it about is cool. I'm excited to see where we're going and what the Lord's going to do through the cast.
Me too. So you mentioned that we had multiple people with the idea to do a podcast.
Absolutely.
But everybody kind of came to you in a short period of time.
Yeah, there was like a 2-week period where I had multiple people be like, "You ever thought about a podcast?" I'm like, "Okay, God, I get it. It's time."
It's time to do it.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into, because we do want to talk about how we got here. We'll talk about the name, kind of where we see this going and things like that. We need to try to stay on task, I guess, stay on our outline here the best we can.
Yeah.
So I've got it here on my phone. Let's see, we've knocked out 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go to just general conversation about your day today. Emily, anything exciting?
Well, I watched people come in and out of court today.
In and out of court?
Yeah, that's about it.
Are you stalking people?
Possibly.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah, always. Yeah,
Always?
always.
That's a lot.
Oh, being a cop's daughter, that's what you do.
Okay. All right.
So you have all the inside information on what's happening.
Oh, yeah. You need something about Lawrence County? Come to me.
Come see you. Okay.
Good to know. Good to
Yeah.
know.
Pastor, anything exciting today?
No, other than the stitch in my head.
The stitch.
Still have a stitch in my head.
Which we can. When is it scheduled to come out, or you just take care of it yourself?
It's meant through the magic of the universe to just come out nicely. The doctor told me, 7 to 10 days. It's now been 13. I have, through no fault of my own, managed to pull 2 others out. I mean, they fell out.
They fell out. They just came out.
And this one is refusing to budge. So it's right here, and every time I look in a mirror, I see 2 little like clearish, whitish antennas sticking up from the edge of it, and it's driving me crazy. And it hurts, not because I mess with it regularly, but just because it hurts.
I would say it's because you mess with it.
No, that's not right. I don't accept that.
Does it itch?
It itches, and then when I mess with it too much, it kind of. I'll occasionally give it a little tug to see if it's ready, because they're supposed to dissolve. Like I've got some inside my skull that she said will take like 3 months to dissolve, and then they've got some exterior ones that should dissolve, and it hasn't yet. So I'll give it a little every so often, and it feels fantastic, but it doesn't stop me from doing it every so often. So I'm not sure if I'm slow or dumb or what.
In underneath the skin, you have some?
Yeah, they've got some. So they had to go. I actually this is. If you have sensitive, be careful. But I actually felt her like scraping on my skull, which is really weird. Being under local anesthesia, being awake to hear it, and her hear like, and you're like, "Ooh, okay, that's can't feel it."
That's a different degree.
So they did some deeper sutures to hold it all together, because there's a lot of tension. Like when they first get done with it, your head is now pulled together, and so it feels like your skin is too tight, which it is. And then eventually it all kind of stretches itself out. And then they do some shallow ones at the top that will dissolve pretty quickly. So like you can't get it wet for 48 hours, and then you have to put like Vaseline on it for a couple of days. And so
wear funny hats when you're outside.
Not funny hats, just hats.
Just hats. Okay.
Just hats,
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my day.
That's your day.
My stitch is annoying me.
Well, Shannon's over here in the corner. What time's our draft? We have fantasy football draft. It's 8 p.m. I think. So
All right.
I don't know what time it is
We're on the
now,
clock.
but we
No
are on
pressure.
the clock
We're on the
to get
clock.
out because
Oh,
I have
okay.
I've prepped, no prep in that.
Okay.
Just go by gut feeling.
All right. So the $1 million question. What's the prize for winning? What's the punishment for losing?
We've never had a punishment for losing, but there's a traveling trophy that Shannon put together. It's kind of an abomination, but
Nicely done.
it travels. It's been to Texas, right, Shannon?
Correct.
Texas.
Oh, I know who won that year.
Yeah, and it did it go to Corridon?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
been to Corridon,
All right.
so
Great.
it's up for grabs.
Now you need a punishment. The loser has to do something.
Like the guy who finishes dead last.
Yeah, dead last. There's some consequence
Mm,
that has to happen.
we'll have to run that by
We'll ponder it.
the commission.
I heard one the other day that was really funny. Like they had to go sing karaoke at a bar or something. Like just humiliate yourself. Stand at like a stop sign and try and raise money for something or anything. Any sort of wear a tutu and do a dance in the middle of the street. I got ideas.
You
I
have
got
ideas.
I got ideas.
You have to write those in
For somebody else to do.
for somebody else. Yeah. Oh, let me see. So we have, between the three of us,
Mm-hmm.
I think we have 0 podcast experience.
None.
None.
0 for you, 0 for you, 0 for me. So this could go any number of ways.
Sure.
But our goal is
Mm-hmm.
to get better
Yes.
as we go
Absolutely.
along, to
Yeah.
be semi-entertaining.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't want people to be bored.
Sure.
No.
Be real life.
Yeah.
And then obviously to help people follow Jesus
Yeah,
is the
for
main
sure.
is the main goal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into the name,
Sure.
the cast.
Sure.
The name was the hardest part of this whole thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the lighting's been something too.
But thankfully,
But-
we have technicians who are skilled in that area.
skilled technicians. But the name. So we had a lot of names out there. We even had a really good one that we were thinking about using, but when we checked, there were several, and Fox Sports owned one of them. So we didn't really think that was probably a good idea to use it.
We're not there yet.
No,
We're not there yet.
So we came up with the name The Cast, and there's really three parts to it. First part is it's a podcast, so it's pretty basic.
Yeah.
Second part is the cast of this will be the church. Our we're going to have a number of people on, hopefully, throughout the duration of this. So we're relying on the cast of the church to put this on, and then the third and most biblical is when Jesus told Peter to cast his nets out on the other side of the boat. So we're casting our net out, being fishers of men, trying to spread the word, trying to help people live lives, follow Jesus,
Right.
in an actual world where that's not very easy.
Mhm.
So
I agree.
Yeah. So when we, like I said, it's been over a year. I first had the thought, and I hadn't talked to anybody about it, and just kind of laid it before the Lord, and was like, Lord, you're going to have to make this happen because I don't have the time, I don't have the energy. I thought we probably had people in the church to help, but just wanting the Lord to pull it together at His time and His way. And there were a couple of those things that you just talked about that were really important to me. One, I think this can be a really cool vehicle to help tell the story of our church. We got people with incredible stories that we don't know. Every so often in church, you get a testimony, you hear a story here, there, somewhere, and I'm like, this would be a great vehicle for people just to tell their story about their journey with Jesus, where they are, something cool that happens, a significant moment, or just their stories. You go to church with people week after week after week, sometimes multiple times in a week, and you don't always know them. You don't always know their story. You don't know what they're about. And I think the more you know people, the greater your capacity to care for them, to have grace for them, and to love them. And that's really that part, the second part is, I think this is something that we're going to have guests on. We're going to have people come through. I'm certainly not even going to be here every week. I think Gary and Emily are going to be here every week just because we needed somebody who are going to kind of hold the ship together and walk with it. I'll be probably a pretty decent regular, but we want other people in the church to talk and share, and even people outside of the church, friends of the church, people that we come across that we want to make a part of this. And so when we talk about the cast being members of the church, I think that's really an important part of what we're trying to accomplish. I mean, even in this room, you see Emily and Gary and me, but you've got Tia and Shannon Hiles that have been part now for a while. You got Tim Ray running sound. Guys, thank you so much for being here, for serving, for jumping in. We're super grateful for you guys. The energy you bring, the excitement you bring. When the idea was pitched in one of our first meetings, you guys were almost instantly like, yeah, we want to do this. We want to be a part of that. And that's cool. I'm sure there'll be other people that come along and wander through and engage. I want this to be a church podcast, not a Pastor Chris podcast. The other thing that I think is really important, we don't have a way to do kind of systematic study in a way. You know, back in the day, you would go to Sunday school, and Sunday school was really regimented, was really like, these are the subjects. The way that the Assemblies of God does it is they have a 7-year cycle that they cycle through. And so kind of the go-to back in the day was, you go to church and you got to go to Sunday school, and Sunday school was foundation laying. It was building upon what was happening in services on Sunday, what was happening on Wednesdays, even what was happening on Sunday nights, but it was more of a systematic part of what we want to do is to bring some of that. That won't be everything. I think we're going to do topics. We're going to do discussion around certain things. At times it'll be more current events. At times it'll be just stuff we're walking through, trying to understand as we follow Jesus. It's kind of all part of making disciples, is both that foundation as well as real life stuff and issues. And so Gary and I met, when did we have breakfast together? 6 months ago, maybe?
Probably so.
Yeah, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe more. Gary called me up and said, hey, I want to have breakfast with you. And we sat down and he started talking. It was that same, I think it was a week and a half period where you really said to me, Pastor, I think we should do a podcast. And I'm like, okay, what does that look like? You know, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts about it? And so we began to talk and have conversation. And then later that week, I think you said something to me.
Yeah, I had texted you and Amy.
Yeah.
And said, I feel like this has just been on my heart for a while.
Yeah.
And so I just want to bring this idea to you. What do you think? Had no idea how we were going to pull this off. Yeah. But I was blown away when we had our first meeting and you said, oh, there's been multiple people, and it was all within a certain period of time.
Yeah, and you guys weren't the only two. There was one other who had made the comment, and I was like, that's just confirmation that now's the time to start moving with it and start seeing where it takes us. And yeah, so that's really my heart for it, is that it becomes a tool that does a couple of things for us as a church, and helps us to build his kingdom here, Lawrence County, and wherever else it ends up going. It'll be fun to see where this all takes us.
It will be interesting to see where we go. Emily, do you care to share what was on your heart where did you see this going, or what was your plan for this?
Well, I didn't really have a plan at all. For me personally, I felt like probably at least a year and a half, just a stirring of, hey, what if a podcast is a way that we can get out to the world? And I thought, okay, is this supposed to be through the church? Like, is this something like I'm supposed to personally do? Because you have so many people that just do it on their own, and I have no idea where to even start. So I just kind of, life happened, and I was brought back here to this church, and to be surrounded by friends and family, it just was a safety to me. And I thought, okay, this is where I need to be, and this is the support group that we can all come together and make this. And so then that's when I reached out to him, because it was just like a constant everyday thought, and I'm thinking, okay, I need to do something. And I have felt called to speak to people for a long time, and I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be in this way. This may just be one avenue, because we plan one thing and God does something totally different.
Right.
So this may be one way. I'm kind of starting to feel that it's going to be another way at some point in my life, but maybe this is the way God is laying the foundation personally for me in my life to give myself practice in speaking towards others and being brave and being vulnerable, to let other people know that they are not alone in whatever they're going through. Because, kind of like what you said, in a sense, sometimes church can get systematic. And we come in, we got to be here at 10 o'clock, and you go through the motions sometimes. I mean, we're all guilty of it.
Sure.
But, we end up kind of just passing by the people next to us. And that makes me sad. I'm totally guilty of it. We're all sucked in our own world.
Sure.
And you have no idea what the person next to you is going through. So for this ability to get out and show people, hey, you're not alone. We are here together as a cast. Just, it's so encouraging to me. And so I'm just thrilled and excited to see where it goes.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
that's my little...
I didn't know it was a year and a half. That's cool.
At least, yeah. At least. It's been a long time.
I also didn't know you desperately want to preach on Sunday mornings. That's good to know.
Not necessarily. It's a certain group I feel called to, but thanks for the pressure.
Sure. I'm here for the pressure.
Okay.
This is just the start. This is the foundation.
I have this feeling, I think if I remember correctly, I was a lot younger, and this might have been when I first came into youth group, and you said something like, it is my job to get you people out of your comfort zone. Something along that line. Okay. And here we are, how many years later? You still do a good job at that.
Well, definitely out of my comfort zone.
Yeah. Well, I'll say what's cool about this whole journey for me is when it's the right time, the Lord does things that you don't expect. And so you came to me wanting me to do it or somebody else to do it, but with the idea. But I think there was in the back of your head a little bit of maybe.
Yeah,
and I
knew a part of it.
Yeah, I knew you want to be a part, but I'm like, no, there's more than just that. There's leadership of it in it for you. And then when you wrote, I was like, I wonder if she would. And so when we met, I was like, we kind of need some people to lead it and to host it. And I remember your answer really specifically. You were like, I was like, so Emily, how would you feel about being a host? And you were unflinching. You were like, yep, I think that's what the Lord wants me to do. Yeah. And it was such a cool confirmation for me, because I have all kinds of ideas. I have all kinds of things. I want to run faster than my legs can take me. And the reality is where I believe our church is headed, the kind of impact I think the Lord wants to have through our church, it's not something that can be accomplished through me and Amy. There's got to be a cast to do it.
Absolutely.
And to watch him begin raising those things is absolutely phenomenal. And what will this look like in a few years? I don't know. But that's part of the fun, is to see where's it going to go, what's he going to do with it, how's he going to use it, and all for that. And so even on the outset, I'm like, Lord, you're totally in this. Because this is out of your wheelhouse. And yet your answer was instant. Yeah, I think that's what the Lord wants.
Absolutely.
Which is cool. It's so cool. I love serving Jesus. It's awesome.
It'll take you into unknown places.
It does.
100%.
Yeah. He's all about faith. I mean, whatever. Trust, whatever.
Trust, faith, yeah.
I mean, I'm very much a control freak, and so to know how this is going to, not know how this is going to be in 3 years, it should stress me out. But it's weird. I'm not worried about it.
That's cool.
This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm believing that the Lord is going to lead us to have the right people and the right conversations, and it's going to help us grow. And I was having a conversation with my grandma the other day, and she had set up in the balcony to help with the baptistry and all that last week. And she said, I had looked over to the side balconies, and she said, I seen those empty pews. And she said, Lord, I just want you to fill those. I just want you to fill those. And I thought, this podcast could be a totally different way of reaching people, and the Lord bringing in who knows to fill those pews. Because we're all in it together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
And there's the quality aspect of it, because it would be great to fill the church, but if we're not discipling people, if we're not leading them into lives where they're because I think there's a difference between knowing Jesus and following Jesus.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's, you and I have had that conversation. We want to take our congregation deeper. We want to move them further into a life where, you know, they're living day to day, and it's not easy.
No.
This is not an easy journey.
Yeah.
So we need that encouragement. We need to know that we're surrounded by people who are going through some things, or who have been through some things that we may be going through.
Right.
And that if we stay consistent, if we stay in the Word, if we continue to follow Him, there will be joy on the other side. So, it's exciting to see where this is going to end up someday.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
excited.
I don't know how long we have gone.
20 minutes.
So we need to keep going
Sweet.
here.
Okay.
Well, what kinds of things do you guys dream of for this podcast? I mean, I've talked a little bit about the things I want. What kind of things are interesting to you? Whether it's topics or segments. I mean, one of the things I think for me that I would add is while its tone overall will be serious, I also want some fun in it. I also want some genuine life in it. And so, you know, there might be moments we cry. There should be moments we laugh. So I want to really, being real is important to me. But what are some other things you guys, as you've had a chance to process and think and pray and dream, where do you see it going? If this is meant to be the introductory, we don't know all of it yet, obviously, but what are some things that are interesting to you?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. For me, I think you had just hit it spot on, is I want to recognize genuine life that people are going through. For instance, it might have been around the time that I had messaged you and Amy, but Aaron Spear had talked on a Wednesday night and had just become so vulnerable and basically just laid her life out there in front of other people and just poured her heart out. And to me, I'm thinking, okay, this is raw and this is real. And that is what I want to bring into this, because I don't know, I guess I just have a heart for other people. I want to make sure they're not alone. And I think maybe that comes back to, that's what I went through at one point. And I'm sure, you know, later on I'll share my stories. But, you know, for her, she would be somebody I would want on here, because she is real and she is loving, but she shows her human side, but then she shows how God redeemed that as well. And so it's just that genuine, this is what's happening in my life. And it may be terrible at the moment, but, you know, here I am telling everybody, and this is how I'm going to get through it. And because I think a lot of people have a mentality, I've had the mentality, well, you know, people just come in, pray about it. You know, just read your Bible more. Yes, those are great things to do. But you have to get down to the nitty-gritty and realize that people are struggling, and but there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and that we're just here to walk with you and walk through it. I could totally be word vomiting right now, all this.
You're doing
but
just fine.
It's just, these are my,
totally with you, yeah.
my thoughts. And that, when she had talked to me, that just was another confirmation for me. Like, there are people in this church that have real stories that need to be told.
Sure.
Because especially in today's world with social media, I almost think that we're separated more. We feel more alone. And so I just want people to have that sense of community. That word, I always try to tell myself I have a word for the year, and that is my word. And so I feel like this is tying in. This is going to be a way to bring the community together.
Yeah.
So
the genuine aspect, I'm with you 100%, because there's so much fakeness in the world, and social media is the key to all that. You know, I mean, nobody's perfect, including ourselves, and that's one thing we want to get across to people is, like, you know, from the outside, if you're expecting to come in and find perfect people, you're not going to. It doesn't exist. And then the other thing too, when Emily was just speaking, is like, I just realized it's one thing to hear you say it, like you said before, like people expect you to come greet them on Sunday morning. They expect the pastor to do certain things. They're going to expect you to say stuff on stage, but when somebody else, like Aaron, shares her story, it hits differently. So when we share our stories, when we talk about some things that we've been through or are currently going through, it will impact people in a different way than it will when it comes from leadership.
Well, what I hope in all of it is we share stories as we build community, as we do all of it, that we realize two things, and they're kind of the same side of different sides of the same coin. One is we're like everybody else. The other is we're like everybody else. And I mean that positively and negatively, in the sense that there's a tendency to believe I'm so much worse than everybody else. And there's also a tendency where actually I'm kind of like everybody else. And I think there have been some moments in my own life where significant growth has happened, and usually it's surrounded by, oh wait, I'm not the worst of my fears. I'm not the worst of my failures. I'm actually kind of like everybody else. And yet, oh wait, what we could be together is actually so much cooler than what we can be on our own. And so there's kind of almost, as you were talking about that, I'm like, yeah, it's being real, it's being genuine, it's about telling our stories with a hope that when other people hear them and see them and get to know them, it draws us closer to one another, but also elevates our opinion of ourselves. The more I hear about other people that are chasing Jesus, that are trying to do their best, that are trying to live for him, trying to overcome stuff, trying to navigate this life, it should not just convince me that we're all kind of similar, but it should also inspire us to go, hey, what we could be together is actually so much better than what we could be by ourselves. And
Absolutely.
That's really my heart
100%.
for a lot of it. Yeah.
Yes, love it.
I'm interested to get into some topics too, like just raising kids. I have 2 young kids, 13 and 10. It's a different world now. So to talk with other people that have kids in that age group and how are we doing as parents is interesting to me. And then the topic of marriage and things that, real life applications to the things we're hearing on Sunday, because it's easy. I mean, sometimes I don't even get out of the parking lot and I'm already back into the world,
Yeah. So you're like the rest of us?
Yeah. Sometimes I make it down the street away.
Good job. Hey,
usually by the end of lunch, I'm back into the whatever life I've got.
Back into being human.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I think for me, things like how do we take this and so you've got real life issues. How do you deal with stress? How do you deal with anxiety? How do you deal with busyness? How do you deal with competing with one another? How do you deal with loss? How do you deal with grief? I think those are all things. I also think there's some stuff like, okay, if we're gonna follow Jesus, what do I need to know about my Bible? What do I need to know about God? What do I need to know about just living this life? What is prayer? What's that all about? What is fasting? I heard about that one time. What does that mean? I mean, I think there's some foundational stuff that also gets thrown in that kind of creates a tapestry of what it looks like to be a follower of Jesus that's genuine and real and a little bit aspirational in the sense of I have to aspire. I have to reach up to get to it, but not in a way that's unachievable, but in a way that's achievable. Yeah, I can reach that. I can get that and then pull myself up to it. And if we're all doing that and pulling each other up and pulling ourselves up, man, what could God do? I said, we look at our sanctuary, and I do the same thing as your grandmother. I'm like, Lord, I don't totally know how you're going to fill it, but I believe with all my heart you're going to fill it. And I made a comment to Amy the other day. I'm like, okay, I'm exhausted after preaching once on Sunday. What happens when I have to preach more than once on Sunday? I'm in deep trouble. I'm going to need some naps and some Red Bulls, although they don't do a thing for me. But I'm going to need something. So, but I think there's no one thing that's going to get us there. But I think this could have a reach that's really unique and really different and could see a culmination of a couple things coming together. So those are like not just topics, but some foundation stuff, some real life stuff. I think fun stuff. I think, I don't want people to think this is only going to be serious all the time. I think we want to have fun with one another because I think we should have fun with one another. So all the things.
We have games coming.
Yes.
Or
the idea
the
of
idea
it.
of games, but it will include the congregation. They'll have to participate.
I like that.
So we'll get into. We're not going to reveal that just
No,
yet,
we can't do it all.
but there will be some
That's
fun
awesome.
had along the way.
I like that.
That'll be exciting.
Do we have so? This is probably going to go out towards the end of September.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to touch at all on the new division, mission, and values?
Yeah, well, we'll probably turn that into a couple
Okay,
segments
okay.
as we talk.
We'll just pause that.
I'll say this, though. I do feel like a lot of what we've talked about, and you weren't even in that meeting, but we have worked on. I have a team that's worked with me to develop a vision, mission, and value statements, and one of those is to build community. That's one of the things that I think is with so many things that divide. I think you're right. Social media connects us in an interesting way, but it also has the capacity to divide us. And I think the church is really perfectly positioned to be a place that's unique in society. I mean, people used to sit on their front porch and visit with their neighbors. That doesn't happen anymore. People used to be a part of whatever group. That doesn't really happen anymore. And I think that the church is uniquely positioned to be a space that can help build that community. That's one of our main goals, encouraging people to grow in the Lord, encouraging people to know Him better, encouraging people to use their giftings to serve. Those are all things, and we'll unpack more of that, I think, as we move down the road. I'll move into a series in September and October where I unpack some of those things, and I think it would make sense for us to kind of talk about those as we go along. So I think as we begin to define who we are more clearly, then it allows us to replicate who we are more clearly. If you don't know who you are, it's difficult to replicate it. And so that's really the drive behind all of it is, hey, this is who we are. And if you want to be part of us, this is all you got to be. And we can make that really complicated, or we can make that really achievable. And I think that's the goal. I think if we can get to it, then we inspire people to achieve and to overcome and to live the kind of life that Jesus wants to empower us to overcome.
Amen.
Amen.
Which kind of leads us to our next ideas, what you had said, this is what you have to be, or with our next episode idea, that you don't have to be perfect to be in here. Like I think you had mentioned a little bit ago, we don't have it together.
No.
None of us do. And if somebody has it together, like, let me know the secret, because I don't know. And so we want to make sure that people are aware when they hear our podcast that when we come into this church Sunday morning, Wednesday night, we're walking in still not having it together. And that is why we're here, to help figure out the puzzle pieces that we use on a daily basis to put it together. And so whether, they got one puzzle piece or a million puzzle pieces, we want you to come.
So I heard a quote today by one of my favorite speakers. His name is David Delp. He's a missionary in South Africa. And he said this today in a message. I think he preached on Sunday. He said, the unseen thing that He has designed for us is always better than the seen thing that is in our hands that He is asking us to release. And as you're talking, I'm like, that's it. That's the quote. God always has an unseen thing that's designed for us that's better than the seen thing that I'm holding in my hand and I'm terrified to let go of. And when I think about what we're talking about, it's really just leaning into, hey, I'm just trying to let go of this thing in my hand that's keeping me from grabbing the thing that He has for me. And if we could all live and function and walk that way, man, where could we end up? Where could we go? That's really, as you were talking, I'm like, that's the quote. The unseen thing that He has designed for us, whether that's us as a church, whether that's us as individuals, it doesn't really matter. It's better than the seen thing that is in my hand that He's asking us to release. I think I read that and was like, man, that's deep. And David,
that is, yeah.
I don't know that David will ever watch this, but thanks, David. I appreciate that. But to me, that kind of encapsulates kind of what you're saying, which is cool.
Thanks for sharing that. I like that.
David shared it first.
We got to give the credit.
Yes.
Gotta give credit. Gotta give credit.
Got to give credit. So do any of you have anything you want to end with? Because I think we're getting close to our time.
I think so. That's it for me.
That's it for you?
That's it for me.
That's it for you?
People are probably going to learn that I talk a lot more than what they think I do.
No,
Yeah?
I think it's going to be very beneficial, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, good. And I might crack a few more jokes than what people think. Pretty humorous.
You are Greg
Yep.
Taylor's
So
daughter.
I am Greg Taylor's daughter, 100%. So if you know Greg Taylor, I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're good. Go ahead. You got anything?
I don't have anything to add. I just thank you guys for watching our first episode. I'm excited for the second one and to see where this goes. So we look forward to hosting the second one.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining.
This has been The Cast, a production of Bedford First Assembly of God in Bedford, Indiana. Your hosts were Emily Taylor and Gary West, produced by Shannon Hiles and Tia Hiles, and engineered by Tim Ray. Be sure to watch for new episodes of The Cast every Monday.